Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news, why the Progressive Liberal Party chairman says a former PLP MP is talking foolishness.
Former PLP MP Frank Smith weighs in on the controversy surrounding the PLP's Freetown candidacy. That story straight ahead.
Queens Counsel Monroe says he's confident he's the right person to represent the PLP in Freetown. The story coming up.
Several men appeared in the magistrate's court today to answer to charges of murder, attempted murder, and drug-related charges. That story is coming up straight ahead.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, amid reports of a fiasco in the Progressive Liberal Party, Chairman Bradley Roberts asserted today that former MP Code Smith's ego led him to lash out at the party after he didn't get a nomination. Smith had hoped to represent the PLP in the new St. Barnabas constituency. However, Roberts says the party simply wanted more female candidates. He also dismissed as a Freudian slip any suggestion that the new seat was created for Cheryl Bazard. Vonique Toot reports.
A case of sour grapes is how PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts described former PLP MP Code Smith's rant after he was overlooked as the party's candidate in the St. Barnabas constituency. Former Senator Cheryl Bazard was ratified on Friday night for the new constituency, which is made up of polling divisions taken from several areas considered to be PLP strongholds. Smith called Bazard's ratification a fiasco. However, Roberts says that's just his ego talking.
I think it's a part of ego. I put it to his ego. Yes.
And you mentioned that the party wanted more women. Why do you think she would make a better candidate than he would?
Oh, she is first class. Not to diminish Mr. Smith, but she is absolutely first class. And we did give her, she was up for consideration for a seat in 2012, and she gave way to Kayla's role in Palmer Gardens.
Smith defeated incumbent Free National Movement candidate Tommy Turnquest in the Mount Moriah constituency in 2002, but lost to Turnquest in the 2007 general election. Roberts says though Smith expressed an interest in running, Bazard deserved the nomination. Not to mention the PLP wanted more female candidates.
I don't know that the seat was created for her. Maybe who said that it was a fraudulent slip. But it is a seat that we consider to be winnable, and we believe that we need more women to be in the halls of Parliament. And the PLP has pledged to do that, and we're fulfilling that pledge.
Smith said he was never invited by the party to discuss the area, even after he and his team went door to door in recent weeks, touching more than 1,000 St. Barnabas constituents. Roberts says that's not true.
I found it amusing, simply because I don't know of Code Smith having any team. We extended the courtesies to all persons who applied for a seat, including Code Smith. He was interviewed last year, as was Ms. Bazard last year. So there was no need, after the new seat was established, to bring them back again to interview them. The candidates committee had decided that Cheryl Bazard was the right pick for St. Barnabas, and we had the endorsement of a number of key people down there.
In a message to his team, Smith urged them to get back on the ground to canvass the people of St. Barnabas and to encourage them to support their movement. It is unclear what Smith meant, but Roberts says he does not expect the former MP to challenge Bazard as an independent candidate.
I doubt that very seriously, but I believe that Ms. Bazard would certainly welcome his support, and I expect Code Smith to lend his support.
Bazard, who is an attorney, was appointed to the Senate in 2012, but resigned in 2014 after she was reportedly offered a position in the international compliance arena. Reporting for our News, I'm Vonique Toot.
Well, controversy has also surrounded the PLP's nomination for Freetown. The candidates committee voted in favor of attorney Wayne Monroe, but some residents want Senator Frank Smith. Well, Smith says he's ready to put up a fight for the coveted seat. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
Smith says despite the drama surrounding the nomination, he is confident the party will make the right choice when choosing its next candidate for Freetown.
I've been a Progressive Liberal Party supporter and member in good standing from 1992. I was the youngest candidate to run with Sir Lyndon the last time that he ran. So obviously, and I've been running for the party ever since that time. I'm not afraid of a fight. I will charge uphill for the PLP, and it's no different here.
The party has delayed making that final decision in the wake of a contentious meeting in the constituency last week. The candidates committee voted for Monroe, a Queen's Counsel, last Monday. But by Thursday, Smith's supporters had organized a meeting to contest the committee's vote, insisting Smith would be a better candidate. Today, Smith insists he had overwhelming support in that community based on his team's polls.
I'm inspired by their support. Our surveys show that we enjoy overwhelming support for my candidacy. I've been involved in the community for a number of years. I've served as a member of parliament for 10 years.
Prime Minister Perry Christie said on Friday the matter will be resolved without conflict. Smith agrees, saying he doesn't see the drama dividing the PLP.
You know, this thing happens all the time. It's just so happened now that it's being aired in the public. And I'm not dismayed or discouraged in any way, shape, or form by it. We deal with these forces all the time. And we bring them together at the end of the day and we move on to victory. That's what we do.
When asked what would be his next move if he does not secure the nomination, Smith says that's not something he's currently considering.
We are part of a process, and we submit to that process by the party, and we're confident that the party will make the right decision at the end of the day.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, Wayne Monroe says he has nothing bad to say about Frank Smith. But when it comes to Freetown, the candidates committee and constituents can see who will be the best person to run on the PLP's ticket in that area. Kyle Joaquin has that angle.
Monroe said there is a reason why the candidates committee of the PLP chose him. He said he worships in Freetown and his office is located in Freetown. And he said the people of Freetown just happen to know him. And he said at the end of the day, he's confident that he will be the candidate chosen for the area. Though his ratification was canceled last Friday, Monroe says he's still on the ground putting in the work to carry the PLP's flag in the new Freetown constituency. But he said he's not ready to get down and dirty against another member of the same party, saying if he hits out at Smith in public, his comments wouldn't just hurt a potential candidate, but the PLP as an organization as well.
The candidates committee has done a wide range of due diligence and have determined that I am the best candidate. The party gives people the ability to contest that, and that's what is happening now. But I'm not about to say anything negative about Mr. Smith. That will not come from me. You will not hear me say anything negative about any PLP candidate in this general election.
Monroe said he's been in that area day after day long before he considered frontline politics and knows the people and their issues.
The candidates committee saw that that is the best area. And realistically, if I had to put a name on an application, that would have been it. But I told the candidates committee that I believe, as a man of faith, that I don't put down anything. And if God means you to have it, he'll direct people to it.
Now, as for this public fight for one constituency, Monroe said is actually not a bad thing.
But it permits you to engage with the public. Anything that permits you to engage with the public is surely a good thing. And the thing about Camp Road people is if you promise them something and you don't do it, they will embarrass you. That's the bottom line to it.
Monroe said what he has come to accept is that there is a chance Frank Smith could be chosen as the candidate over him.
In any process like this, that is a possibility. And it's a possibility. I don't see it as one that's going to happen. And I just see it as an exercise that the party is going through.
Reporting for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
In other news, several men were brought before the magistrate's court today to answer to several murder and attempted murder charges, including the shooting that took place in Baintown last week, leaving a 1-year-old girl fighting for her life. Giorgio Bain reports.
4 men, along with a juvenile, appeared in the magistrate's court today to answer to several charges, including murder and attempted murder. 26-year-old Stanford Pinder in the black jacket and a 16-year-old juvenile boy of Flint Street appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt, where they were charged with 1 count of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. They're accused of the February 23rd murder of Leonardo Sweeting, an attempted murder of Robert Monroe, Philip Roll, and a 1-year-old girl. According to police reports, the shooting incident happened after 8 p.m. on Scott Street in Bangtown. 4 people were taken to hospital where 1 man was pronounced dead. Pinder was represented in court today by attorney Raquel Heiler, who told the court that while her client was in police custody, he was beaten, which resulted in him vomiting blood. Ashton McQuay, who represented the teen boy, also claimed that his client was beaten, resulting in a swollen eye. The juvenile's mother, Latoya McPhee, told the chief magistrate that her son suffers from a heart condition and must take 1 Bayer aspirin daily. The magistrate made a note of this. The 2 were denied bail and will be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They will return to court on April 25th to be served a voluntary bill of indictment. They weren't the only murder suspects to appear in the magistrate's court today. 25-year-old Spence Lewis in the purple jacket and 23-year-old Kingsley Shue in the black sweater were charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count attempted murder. It is alleged that on February 3rd, while concerned with others, the pair caused the death of Kirk Astry. They are also accused of attempting to murder Dino Cox. They were denied bail and were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until April 26, when they will return to court to be served a voluntary bill of indictment. Nicholas Lightburn, age 23, in the black t-shirt also appeared before Ferguson Pratt to answer to 1 count of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. It is alleged that on February 19th, Lightburn killed Clarence Gibson and attempted to kill Shawnee Sweeting. He was also denied bail and will be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until April 27, when he will be served a VBI. Reporting for our news, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Also from the courts, 3 men appeared before Magistrate Andrew Forbes on multiple gun and drug charges. Police say the men are responsible for a major drug bust in Marsh Harbor, Abaco on Friday. That's where drug enforcement officers arrested the trio, who were found in possession of a quantity of dangerous drugs, including Indian hemp and 2 pistols. Gareth Major in the blue shirt and blue hoodie and Calvin Higgs in the gray sweater were represented by attorney Muriel Ducille. Anthony Powell, seen in the red jacket, was represented by attorney Jomo Campbell. The trio pleaded not guilty to 14 charges, including possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, importation of dangerous drugs, conspiracy to import and possess dangerous drugs, possession of unlicensed firearms, possession of ammunition, and importation of ammunition. The men were denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until May 16th, when their trial will begin. Still to come on our news, the DNA leader says the time for talking political partnerships is gone, and the government is beefing up legislation against human trafficking. That's coming up when our news returns.